Hi guys! Dear Charo. Yo, what's up guys? So, Cebu 600 challenge, 600 kilometers challenge here in Cebu is fast approaching. So, this is Reverend Coward on Saputa DIY. So, just want to give you some tips for this weighted 600 kilometers of endurance. So again, it's endurance. So here in Cebu, yes, in Cebu, which is it's kind of bit not bit, but it's kind of really exciting. I know you guys have been waiting for this event, and you guys are preparing probably 1 month or 2 months before this event. So there are 3 things that I'm going to talk about, and these are safety riding tips before you ride a bike, and lastly would be endurance. So we go first tackle with safety riding tips. So first on the safety riding tips is clipping the tent. So how are you gonna do that? So clipping the tent is just like this, as shown on the video. And next would be holding the handle grips. So usually people will hold the handle grips this way. So instead of that, it should be this way. So what's the purpose behind? So the purpose behind for if in case if in case you are going to experience an accident, so the first thing will go on the ground is never your hand, but the bar end of the handlebars. It should be the one to touch first on the ground. Next would be intersection. So part of the safety riding is for you to be cautious enough during crossing an intersection. So what's the first thing you are going to observe? Of course, it's the traffic light, just like this. Kuching, kuching, kuching. Parang hindi nyo mamusaw na. So traffic light, of course, no one is above the law, so everyone should follow the traffic light. Again, this event is not forcing you or not telling you to disobey the rules on the road. So you guys should follow the traffic light. So when it's red, of course you should go stop. But if the traffic light is flashing, of course, it doesn't mean that you will go fast. You're on priority. So you should stop, look left and right, and if it's clear, go.
Advance ako mag-isip.
Next would be about your pacing. So pacing. So for sure you guys are going on a ride, like especially every Sunday, like we go to TCH or you guys go on a TCH. So you always hear before you jump off with your friends, probably your what we call pacer would always say ride at your own pace. So it means that what you're capable with, what speed you're capable with, so go with it. But if you can't go beyond 90 kilometers per hour or 100 kilometers per hour, whatever, you can go far from that speed, of course. Don't ever force yourself to be on that speed. So again, ride at your own pace, bro. So next would be the lights. So no, Ricky! Rick! So next would be the light. So part of your safety riding tips is ay garo Ricky. Babe. Show your face, babe. Show your face on the cam. So next would be the light. So you should secure a lights, good lights on your motorcycle. So if you are having a like a halogen bulb in your headlight, well, would that be okay? And I much prefer with the LED lights. If you have lighter light than the stock bulb, so that would be great though. Aside from that, you could put aux lights, so or auxiliary lights, so much better. So yes, going back, you could absolutely put your auxiliary lights on a different angle. So you could put like an aux lights for cornering, like facing like that, and others on a spot beam, like facing that way. You could put like let's say it's on a higher beam and the other light it's on a lower beam. So don't just depend on your headlight, especially when you have a bad eyesight, just like me. I'm using a glasses, you know. So before last year 600 challenge, I was using a contact lens for me not to get bothered with my glasses. So if in case I go remove my helmet, so I could remove my helmet right away because I don't have my glasses on. But once you have this, so it's gonna, you know, just like this.
No, 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 no.
And yep, so that's all for the safety riding tips. So next would be before you ride a bike. So what are the things that you are going to check up with your bike before you ride? Of course. For my bike, since it's a common issue of overheating on KTM's 200 cc's and 390 cc's, so I got to clean the radiator, clean up all the fans, making sure that there was no mud on it, and spray a lot of water just to make sure that it's already clean. And I'll also change it with a new coolant, and also clean up the radiator fan. You can see right there, it's already cleaned up. And I secured auxiliary lights on my bike, which they are facing on a different angles as what I've said on the safety ridings. And also I secured sliders and crash bars for the protection of my fairings, and also for the protection of the engine. So there you can see in the video that it's already, everything is set up. And yes, I also clean up underneath of it and checking the bolts if they are tied into its proper torque, and check the head if there are no leakings, and also the oil filter. And for the terminals, I also clean up with contact cleaner to make sure that everything will going to work fine. Also the sag of the bike and the chain adjustment I checked. And I also replaced with the new sprockets and chain. And for the thread of the tire, I checked it already, so they're good for a long run, and that is Mitas or Mitas. So both front and rear tires, I changed it with a brand new. And for the brake pads, so also check that. So braking system is really important. So, and also clean your disc brake with a brake cleaner, and also check that bolt right over there. Make sure that it's tightened already for it not to loosen. And I also secure with a new muffler. That's not new, but it's an old one. I just secure purely a muffler on my bike. That way I could be heard on the road, because for me this will really help. And of course, don't forget to check your brake lights and your signal lights, and then yeah, the headlight. So those are the things that you're going to check your bike before you ride on. So aside from that, aside from checking your bike, of course you are going to check yourself. So why check yourself? Of course, if you don't have the confidence for you to ride, of course, don't ever force yourself to ride on that event. You should have the confidence before you ride. So again, so self-confidence. And next, I would suggest, if you are going to connect your phone to your, yeah, right here. So your phone to your Bluetooth intercom. So if you have Bluetooth intercom on your helmet, it's like this. So it's a Cena 10s. So that would be great if you are going to connect it. So for what the purpose behind is, for in case of emergency. So no need for you to stop your bike and then pick up your phone and then try to answer it and remove your helmet. That if you have the any intercom. So I would also suggest, if your phone during a ride, I would suggest to have no password on it. Like, let's say, don't put passphrase on it, just let it open, in case of emergency. That way, if someone could help you, like they could access right away in your phone and probably call your parents or someone for emergency. If in case on the road, rescue is still far from you, or there might be cases like that the rescuers is there, and for how many kilometers away from you. So better to have no password on your cell phone that time. Just don't care about the kawatan or whatever. At least your phone is open, and then someone could access right away. That way, in case of emergency, they could call your guardians or your parents, let's say. And another thing is, if you have GoPro, so it's better to have GoPro while you're riding. That way, everything will be recorded, and then by recording it, like, you could just cut off, like, on and off with your GoPro. That way, memory will not be full right away. Or let's say you could buy a higher specs or a higher memory on your GoPro, that like 128 gigabytes. That way everything will be recorded. And secure also a cable for the charger, and you could also bring a power bank, or if you have a charger port on your bike, so that would be great. And lastly, before riding your bike, don't ever forget to pray. And the last thing that I'm going to and the third thing that I'm going to talk about is the word endurance. So the meaning of endurance is the ability to deal with pain and suffering that continues for a long time. So 600 kilometers is really a longer time. So it's up to you, whatever you're gonna do in that time. Like, you could take a rest or take a picture, just like what others did, and you could have breakfast early in the morning or whatever you want to do. So it's actually it depends on you. So that's the meaning of endurance, to deal with pain and suffering that continues for a long time. So again, this is not a race. By the time you register, you can see the page below that is written there, not a race. So again, ride at your own pace, ride safe, and then And God bless. Don't forget to confess your sins to the priest if you're a Catholic, and don't forget to pray. See you, amigos.